Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and basically we're going over the Day 3 and Day 4 outbreak in the SPC. I posted a video earlier today going over the Day 1 and Day 2, and I said in that video I was going to do another video for the Day 3 and Day 4. This is it right here. And with that being said and that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right into this and talk about the situation at hand. Alright, so this is the situation we are dealing with right here. There is now a massive slight risk that goes from all the way from South Dakota and the tip of Minnesota all the way down to New Mexico right here in Texas, including the cities of Lubbock, Amarillo, Woodard, Liberal, Garden City, Colby, McCook, Nebraska, Lincoln, Norfolk, Valentine, and Sioux Falls. The marginal risk encompasses other parts of Texas right here, parts of Kansas, parts of Missouri, including Hannibal, Illinois into Peoria, Des Moines, Omaha, La Crosse, Minneapolis, Arbutin, and Pierre. So that's basically what's going on. The generic thunderstorms are everywhere else. This is the probabilistic right here. That's why they issued that SPC slight risk right here. We don't know the exact risks yet, the percentage of the risks. So as soon as those come out, I will update you guys as that progresses. So let's go ahead and dive right into the synopsis. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms late Friday afternoon to Friday night across parts of much of central and into portions of the southern Great Plains. Summary: 1 or 2 squall lines may evolve across parts of the central Great Plains Friday afternoon to Friday night, posing a risk for hail and strong damaging wind gusts. Additional thunderstorm activity spreading to, north of the lower to middle Missouri Valley into parts of the upper Midwest may produce a risk for severe hail. Synopsis: large-scale mid to upper troughing with several embedded shortwaves appears likely to continue developing inland of the Pacific coast during this period. Models continue to indicate that this will include one significant perturbation accelerating northeast of the lower Colorado Valley into the lee of the Colorado-Wyoming Rockies. This is forecast to be accompanied by a strong surface cyclogenesis from the lee of the Front Range northeastward towards the central and South Dakota by late Friday night. This will be preceding by a plume of warm, elevated mixed layer air advecting through much of the Great Plains and upper Midwest. However, models continue to suggest that Gulf moisture return to the deepening lee surface troughing may begin to become disrupted by drying associated with the low-level ridging building westward towards the northwestern Gulf Coast beneath a prominent mid-level high centered over the eastern Gulf states. While the mid-level ridge axis initially extending to the north-northwest of this high may gradually pivot across the east of the Mississippi Valley, the western flank of the broad amplified ridging, may not shift east of the lower Great Plains until late Friday evening. Great Plains into the upper Midwest. Highest boundary layer moisture, including the surface dew points in the mid-60s, may become focused along the warm frontal zone shifting across the north-northeast of the lower to middle Missouri Valley vicinity and parts of the narrow corridor near the dry line of West Texas. It appears to be a plume of elevated mixed layer air which will tend to overspread the warm air, provided increasing inhabitation, but this may be preceded by convection supported by warm advection, which could pose a risk for severe hail. Stronger, more widespread thunderstorm development seems more likely to focus near the dry line, perhaps as it is overtaken by eastward advancing cold front across the central Gulf Coast, central Great Plains Friday evening. However, to varying degrees, models suggest that this may be preceded by convective initiation to the east of the dry line, perhaps aided by a subtle impulse preceding the main upper trough. This remains unclear and could considerably impact boundary layer instability preceding the developing dry line cold front convection. Even so, modest deep boundary layer mixing with CAPE in excess of 1,000 joules per kilogram near the dry line will contribute to the environment with storms initially posing a severe hail threat before transitioning to strong damaging gusts. I'll actually get to the CAPE in just a second. I just want to read the rest of the synopsis since we're almost done. This should coincide the upscale growing line of storms aided by increasing forcing downstream of the primary approaching shortwave and the southerly 850 millibar jet strengthening from 50 to 70 knots Friday evening. Now, that's the situation that's going on right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Cape. This is for day 3. We're going to actually go to the NAM for this one. And this goes all the way, actually, we're going to need another area. Okay, this is it, the Central Great Plains. So yeah, you can see this is for Friday. This is the 15Z, 18Z, 21Z. This is 4 o'clock on Friday. And we're seeing an area in parts of South Dakota and Nebraska that is cracking 3,000 joules of kilogram per kilogram of Cape is in this area of Nebraska, Kansas, South Dakota right here. So yeah, a large area of 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram is right here for Friday. As you can see, it continues into the night. There you go, right there. And now we're going to move into Saturday because that's when the day 4 outbreak is. Well, not outbreak, this is the outlook. We're not sure if this is going to be a severe weather outbreak. It looks possible, but we're far from certain at this point. Discussion. A broad, deep surface cyclone initially centered over the central eastern South Dakota at 12Z Saturday appears likely to occlude where or migrating northeastward into northwestern Ontario through Sunday before weakening more substantially. It appears that the warm sector instability may become confined to a narrow, trailing pre-cold frontal corridor and only rather modest by the peak heating Saturday afternoon. However, given continuing strong lower to mid-tropospheric wind fields along this corridor, latest model output generally indicates that Cape may be sufficient to support a renewed risk of severe thunderstorms in the development by late Saturday afternoon and evening across portions of eastern Kansas into central Iowa. Let's actually take a look at that, because this is 9Z, 12Z, okay. Yeah, we could see something, but yeah, this is too far out right here. Like, we could see a little bit of Cape, like maybe around 700 joules, maybe 1,000 at most, like 1,500 at most, according to the NAM right here. As more model guidance comes in, I'll update this at you guys as it develops, so please stand by for that. But according to the NAM so far, we could be seeing Cape values around cracking 1,000 in some areas of Nebraska and Iowa. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, but at this point, it looks like there's going to be some weak instability that could produce a couple of severe thunderstorms, but that's about it, unless the Cape really ramps up. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Nevertheless, let's get back into this. Later this next week and into early next week, positively tilted mid-level troughing, lagging to the southwest of the weakening initial shortwave perturbation migrating into the eastern Canada, may provide support for convective development along the lingering surface front, slowly advancing east to southeast of the upper Mississippi Valley and southeastern Great Plains. However, with low-level wind fields becoming weaker, prefrontal instability likely to remain seasonably modest and confined to a narrow corridor, and the risk of severe weather seems limited. So yeah, that's potential too low, potential too low. This is this area right here. Day 5 and 6, predictability still too low, but day 4, there's 15% risk that goes from Kansas all the way to Iowa. As you can see, the Cape kind of matches that. There's areas around from basically around 600 all the way up to 1,500 joules per kilogram. There's areas cracking close to 2,000 up in Minnesota, but we'll have to keep an eye on it as the situation develops. So yeah, that's basically what's going on days 3 and 4 right there. I want to make this into separate videos because if I made this all in one video, it would be too long. Like, this video is clocking in around 10 minutes, so yeah, and the other one clocked in at close to 15. That would have been 25 minutes of footage right there. So yeah, it just would have been too long for me to go over in one video. So I thought it would be nice and just break it up into 2 videos, just make it easier for you guys to look at, and just basically easier for you guys to digest, if you may. But with that being said, I'm just going to really wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps you out and helps you make more videos like these. It also helps inform more of the public, also helps them get more engaged with weather, at least that is the goal, and it also helps get them more prepared for the future. So, yeah, and with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.